Fox News alert just an hour away now from New Jersey Governor Christie. He will face reporters answering his critics on a local scandal that has now been thrust really into the national spotlight today. Welcome, everybody. Brand new hour now of America's Newsroom. Glad to have you with us today. I'm Martha McCallum.
And I'm Greg Jarrett in for Bill, who's on assignment. A set of emails and text messages now revealing that Governor Christie's staff may have intentionally closed highway lanes for political retribution. The closures causing massive traffic jams and commuting headaches.
The governor putting out a statement yesterday. He said, quote, "I am outraged and deeply saddened to learn that I not only was misled by a member of my staff, but this completely inappropriate and unsanctioned conduct was made without my knowledge." Bret Baier joins us now, anchor of Special Report. Bret, good morning to you. This seemed initially like, a local matter, but because it is Christie and because he is on top of the polls, really, for the Republican side right now, or usually up near the top, it's an issue.
Yeah, good morning, Martha. Yeah, it potentially has big implications, actually. We'll see how Governor Christie handles it, and that really will tell how many legs this has, whether there is more information that comes out that he knew more than he said he's known about this, and whether it is just at a lower level that his aides were really putting the political screws to this Democratic mayor of Fort Lee, New Jersey, who did not endorse the Republican governor's reelection bid. I mean, he was touting 16 Democratic mayors endorsing his reelection for that sweeping reelection in November. And part of that whole narrative, and that's an overused word, but part of that in that reelection campaign was that he is this bipartisan figure in a blue state, and that is part of his national appeal, at least one would think in his 2016 potential campaign. Yeah. So the fact that this would be an aide putting the political screws to a Democratic mayor who didn't endorse him would kind of break that whole veneer of not politics as usual, and that's why it's really a headache for Christie.
Yeah, I hear you. The other political narrative that obviously surrounds Christie is that he's brash, that he's tough, that he's plain-spoken, and it could be, we'll see what happens here at 11 o'clock, that he uses this as an opportunity to demonstrate that he doesn't put up with any you-know-what among his own staff.
Martha, you know better than I do, being in New Jersey, but I bet we see a different tone from Christie at this news conference than we have seen in previous news conferences as far as confrontation with reporters. I bet he kind of is apologetic, but yet saying that he's going to get to the bottom of it. I would make the odds are that he's going to say that these are aides that didn't tell him. It's important to point out there have been a number of stories how he's tried to stop this whole investigation. The Wall Street Journal had a story back in December that he called Governor Cuomo and said that his appointees were digging into this too much. And then these emails surfaced, and according to the reporting, he was caught off guard by it. We'll see what he says within the hour. But obviously, critics of Governor Christie are jumping on it. And it's important to point out, Martha, that there are not a lot of Republican defenders yet of Governor Christie. Yeah. And that's another point that on the national scene is potentially a problem for him.
Yeah, I think it was Rahm Emanuel who said every crisis presents an opportunity. And there's no doubt that they realize the importance of this news conference and how he handles this situation. And as you point out, if there's anything lying deeper here that they may have to deal with as well. Bret, we'll see. Thank you so much. We'll see you tonight, too.
Okay, Martha.
Okay. So what will the governor of New Jersey say in this news conference, and will it have an effect on his political future? Send us a tweet at Martha McCallum. We're going to read some of those already, a lot of them coming in. We'll put some of them up at the end of the show. Some people feel like it's a local issue. They say they don't care, that there's a lot of bigger things out there that they're much more concerned about. Others say that how he handles this will be indicative of what kind of nominee or potentially president he might be in terms of how he handles it. So
one would expect some pink slips involved in this thing.
He's indicated that that may be where this is going.
And if it's true that he had no knowledge of this, it's hard to hold him responsible for some overzealous rogue worker.
Well, they have to prove that that's what happened.
Yeah.
And going to get to the bottom of it starting at 11.